Hello and welcome to some Everquest test server patch notes. So this is what is going to happen on the April patch. Probably next week. So this came out yesterday. I'm a little late to it as always, but let's take a look at the highlights here. Added missions to the 26th anniversary content. Not on the one I put there. Let's see here. Item. Added a slight chance for NPCs over level 30 in Echo Caverns to drop the spell Remove Curse. That's nice. Adopted the metamorph items from crates that are now heirloom. All right. And some context here. Like on TLP servers, getting this spell is kind of painful. I think there's like one mob or something it drops from or some nonsense like that. Just like Remove Curse only drops from Sasa Ra. So that's kind of nice for that. Jade Tinted Spectacles can now be converted into augmentation version. And back again. Nice. Added a new icon for inert and energized engrams that indicate the level of the abilities they award. Now those are the spell... I believe those are the Outer Brood spell clicky things. You know, you click them and get rank 2 spell or raid spell. The Fellowship registration insignia will now reset the timer if it is in your teleportation keyring and your teleport fails. So that is nice. Sometimes it fails randomly and it sucks. All right. Items that are not equipable by the character indicated by a yellow equipment slot no longer modify the character stats. Nice. Dragon Horde items should now go with you when you do a server transfer. That is great. Every time I've moved a character, I've had to do a petition to get those items to move. But if they move now, that lets you take a lot more stuff off of one server to another server. That's kind of crazy. All right, quests and events, High Priest, mission and raid. Increase the interval between the penance and purification in both the raid and the mission slightly. There will be 3 less calls for these mechanics over the course of the raid event. More importantly, entering the auras of the Ministers of Punishment or Cleansing will, with the appropriate debuff, will grant a 10-second grace period from their negative effects. However, these auras will now check every 15 seconds and punish anyone in them without the debuff or that are in the grace period. What? That mechanic sucks, right? So it's like, imagine a square room, and in one corner you got one thing, and the other corner you got another thing. You got to like literally run back and forth. It's not fun for me. The High Priest raid lowered the HP of the raid NPCs by 10%. Added a fix for the failure of undelivered achievement. At the end of the raid, if there were messengers up when the boss was killed, they could trigger an achievement failure. They will not anymore. Brood Architect Hazuri raid added a speculative fix for unripe experiments and remaining in the event after a reset. Brood Architect Hazuri mission and raid increased the delay between Hazuri spawning pools and using the ability linked to those pools. That delay was not present at all in the mission, so we've added it to the mission as well. All right, that's kind of a nice change, I suppose. Spells updated the icons for magician items. Quiver of Dranesh, Folded Quiver of Dranesh, Void Arrow, and Molten Dicite Orb. Cleric changed the Dissolve Corruption and Cleansing Acquittal lines of spells to allow targeting of members in other groups. Druid changed Fawn Walker's Breeze line of spells to cure curse counters instead of corruption counters. That's pretty nice, I guess. Druid and Shaman changed the chant of Napia line of spells allow targeting other group members. Shaman changed the Blood of Nadok's line to allow targeting of other group members. Corrected an issue that caused some ranks of Oriat's Bane. line of spells to not fully remove some ranks of the Cure of Subjugation line of spells. Interesting. Fixed a spell stacking blocker issue that affects some spells, including Virtue and Talisman of Crag. Fixed a bug that prevented weapon stances from switching correctly. Corrected an issue that allowed NPCs to hit through certain defensive abilities such as Fortitude and Void Dance. Changed personas to should be more reliable and respect blocked buffs. Altered the spell line names for many spells. Gosh. Oh man. So hopefully this is, I honestly at this point they should just stop changing the names and just have like Torpor 10, Torpor 15. I mean, there's just so many. It's so hard to remember all the names of all the different spells, and they're like almost throwaway since they're not iconic like they are. They are in the lower levels, right? Right. Complete healing, right? That's an iconic spell that goes outside of the Everquest realm, right? But what is the current one like? Spiritual Shower, like it's not as impactful, right? Quintessence versus Torpor, there's like, so I don't know. That's a design issue, I suppose. AA. Most focus IDA AAs, including synergy AAs, have been updated so that ranks grant their benefits to every spell in their respective spell lines. Oh my god, that's so big. AAs that exclusively focus on triggered effects of a spell line have not been updated. Oh my gosh. Hold on. All right. Shadow Knight. Focus. All right. All ranks. Surge. Okay, hold on. I'm going somewhere with this. This works, right? All right, so let's see, where's the first one? 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. All right, so you can see how they like add all the spells in there. But if we go down to like some of these other ones, right? They don't. Rank 16 doesn't affect the new one, right? Rank 19 doesn't affect. Is it here? Okay, well, I guess they added them in, for that. But okay, so here's rank 24, right? It's, it's that soul thin skin. If we go down here to, is that like just the first one? Like, I mean, maybe I'm looking at this list wrong, and this is just like the very first one that they've had. Oh yeah, that's level 95. Okay, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at this list in total reverse, right? Okay, so Krizdad's skin, right? Number 16 on this list here. If we go here, that is the level 125 buff, right? You notice it's not on this one. It's not on this one, right? So there we go. That makes more sense. And I think what that is doing is adding all of these spells of this spell line, the skin line, to all of these focus buffs so that you don't have to effectively take a DPS loss when you level up from, let's say, 115 to 120, right? Because if you don't have let's find a damaging one because it'll make more sense. Yeah, like this one, Focus, Delight, Deceitful Blight, right? You don't have that, the next one, right? Like Nefarious to just like your 115, you don't get that upgrade to your new spell at 119, and I think the spell is actually 119, right? Yeah, it's 119. So like you don't get the spell until then, but you're taking a DPS loss in most cases by using the new one until you have the focus for it. Oh, all right. That's a nice change. I applaud the change. I think it'll be great. Can't wait to try it out. Overseer added a mass convert agents button to the agents tab of the Overseer window. What? It will convert duplicate agents of one rarity, leaving a specified number of duplicates unconverted with a minimum of one remaining. Oh my gosh. I get to clap. That is something I've been asking for I don't know how long. I think it's on my list here. Let me I got a list of things. I got a whole list here. Let me see. Oh, I'm going to show my whole list of, let's see here. Mass conversions right there. Last updated November 2024. So yeah, there's a video that I was working on. Definitely on my list of things that I'd like to see in the game, and it looks like they're doing it perfect. If I could just send my whole list to them, maybe they'll make them all better. But yeah, definitely awesome change there. Like, it's so tedious to convert things. It's just so tedious. All right, progression servers made tuning changes to the spell resist system used on Vaniki. Players should resist NPC spells more frequently, and players should land spells should land on lower level NPCs more frequently. Adjusted the mitigation of the mighty so it appropriately reduces hand-to-hand damage instead of increasing it. Is that a super nerf to monks on TLP servers? Because that would be hilarious. Because like, as I recall, I've done a few TLPs in my lifetime. Monks are 900 times better than every other class, and if that is what the problem is, oh my god, that sucks. That sucks. Because like, monks don't use weapons on TLP servers, right? It's not like I'm using a one-handed blunt. I'm using my fists, and then in Kunark you use your epic with your fists, and in Luckland, Velius, you kind of get a one-handed blunt, like at Garns and stuff. I think that's hand-to-hand now, but it's still hand-to-hand. And then in Luckland and beyond, it's all hand-to-hand until you get to about Empires of Kunark, where you switch to two-handed blunt. So that is insanely funny. You must now type the entire command when using exit or quit. Added a fix for the client rendering crashes and performance improvements. All right, we got a Q Melody update here. All right, Q Melody will no longer be interrupted if you have no target. Oh. Run out of mana. Oh. Out of range. Oh, nice. Unless no songs in the melody can be played. All right. Q Melody is now capable of playing the same song in a row if it has no duration. Oh, that is a nice change. Hopefully that makes it like melody, but with the smartness in it. That'd be cool. We'll have to try that out on patch day. That'll be fun. Attempting to teleport to a campfire that was in a zone that is no longer up should now reset the cooldown on your fellowship insignia. Thank you. Thank you very much. You can now invite players who are in other zones to your guild using guild invite. Well, holy crap. Wow. That only took, 25 years? That is fantastic. It was always annoying when I was running that guild on, I think it was Yellowknife. I had to like be in the same zone as somebody. And on TLP servers, all your friends start in different places. Some are ogres, some are elves, some are dwarves. Every once in a while there's an erudite, right? And you can't really, it's hard to get to each other, right? Unless you all go to a certain zone, and it is what it is. Altered the phrasing of hidden item components in the 2025 live events achievement. Fixed a typo in the component of Bristlebane Day, a cure for Karak mission challenges achievement. All right, UI changes. Spell failures chat messages have been split into spell failures yours and spell failures others. Well, that is fantastic. That is nice, because like when you have it all had it before, right, you've seen all kinds of junk you don't want to see, but this way you could see like your resists, possibly your fizzles, maybe. Kind of nice. When logging in, you'll no longer see your entire ignore list in the chat window. You can still see the full listing by doing /ignore. Very nice. Fixed a bug where loot no drop was unable. Fixed a bug where loot no drop usable wasn't working properly. Okay, I'm not 100% sure what that does. Maybe that's just a command line for the GUI. All right, fixed a resizing the client window to no longer open resizing the game client window no longer reopens the inventory window if the real estate lot items window is open. All right. Updated confirmation message when transferring to a free trade server. I think all servers should be free trade. I think it would just really help out a lot of things. All right. Changed overseer window. Changed the real estate purchase window. Corrected an issue where lifetime accounts did not receive AA auto grant. Corrected an issue where marketplace purchases would sometimes not grant an item. I know a few people in Discord have mentioned that. Fixed spell stacking cases that include a curse of subjugation and weapon proficiencies. All right. There we go. Top issue. 26 years in the making. Oh, geez. All right. Let's see. Is there anything useful down here? Looks like this is overwhelming positive. You know, awesome. Great work. Yeah. Definitely some good changes here. Definitely good. I will, you know, definitely check these out as soon as they go live. Now, I was looking to see if there's any other information. I could not find any other, like, news or updates. I thought there was an experience day bonus here. Maybe this one has the experience day bonus. It ended yesterday. But it's not on the main page. And I go to the main page right here, you know, like, hey, yeah, oh, well, it's there now. Okay, well, I'm dumb. I didn't see it when I went there, when somebody told me there was bonuses. But there we go. I'm dumb. But yeah, there was an experience bonus. Sorry for not saying anything there. I don't know what the next bonus is. You know what? A good resource for finding that is Iki Resource. Right. Events. All right. So Stomple's Day bonus. Right here. That's just Stomple. No, that's just Stomple Day. Okay, there's a log on bonus. Remember, log on, get your 100 heroic character, your Goblet of Adventure, and all that other goodies stuff there. There should be another. There should be another bonus. Let's see here. Looks like anniversaries keep going. Wow, I didn't realize that. Legacy anniversary. I thought they ended 420. Yeah, I don't see any other important news. So if there's anything else that comes up, we will make another video. But thank you very much for watching, and please have a fantastic day.